And after a night show, my wife, all of our families were together, my wife and I and our two sons. I piled in the car and I raced them out to a place called Peggy's Cove. And certainly Ed knows that. And I got up extra early, which was a dog trying to get the two teenage boys up, you know. And we raced out there, and I thought we'd be the first ones out there. And as I'm getting out of the parking lot, now this place is a huge bay with giant rocks in this lighthouse in there, and it's quite picturesque. And as I start working my way down to the lighthouse, there one of the big rocks is this profile, this person sitting out there waiting for the waves and the wind to hit his face. And I looked at that and I thought, I know that profile. I thought, it's got a Ward look to it. And there was Chuck with the sea breeze in his face. He just loved it. So we thought that, you know, one of the songs we do is one of the songs that you've heard him sing many times over. One he just loved, titled The Boys of Code Days. Well, that really has a blind sound to it right now.
They were blending rocky hills on the coast of Donegal, and the fielders are hardly green and green. And the big Atlantic swell is a place they know quite well. That's a place of blue living from the sea, with the pleasant golden sea and the herring running free, and the wind all gently through the foam. When the boats are loaded down, and we sing in the town, when the boys of Billy makes them rolling home. When the thunder roll boots and the thunder oil skins on, and Jack did the sea that's okay. Oh, they're jumping into the water, 'cause it's cold before dawn, and rain in another day. With the pleasant rolling sea and the herring running free, and we go riding gently through the foam. When the boats are rolling down, they'll be singing in the town, when boys of Billy makes them rolling home. Now there's purple on the hill and there's green on by the shore, and the sun has spread its gold upon the sea, and there's silver down below where the herring and fishing go. When you catch them, you'll have gold for you and me. With the pleasant golden sea and the herring running free, and the fleet on riding gently through the foam. When the boats are loaded down, they'll be singing in the town, when the boys of Billy makes them rolling home. With the pleasant rolling sea and the herring running free, and the fleet on riding gently through the foam. When the boats are loaded down, they'll be singing in the town, when the boys of Billy makes them rolling home.
So, you know, one of the great things about Chuck was Chuck could laugh. He could laugh with you. He could laugh at himself. It was great. One of my favorite stories about Chuck is that one time up in Door County, I and my wife and Chuck and Kathy, Chuck's actually driving around Door County. It's spring of the year. And we're looking at the orchards. And Chuck's looking out there and he sees the green apples. And Chuck says, hey, now, you know, when we see green apples in the store, does that mean that they just pick them early and they don't let them get red? When do they turn red? Why do they do that? You know, do they just pick them early? I don't understand that. So, you know, the first thing that happens is his wife Kathy gets him in the arm and says, you goof. And then we explain to Chuck about apples. Okay? So now Chuck, you know, he's kind of quiet, traveling along, and you know, he's not going to let it look like he's a city slicker from Kenosha and he doesn't know anything about agriculture. So he's kind of quiet and he says, well, okay, so maybe I know about green apples. But I do know that it's a bush just like we get our cotton from, that's where we get marshmallows from.
Legendary marshmallow bush.
So this song started, I brought this song in called Steve O'Donnell's Wake. And Chuck felt that he should try to explain the chorus. And every time he started with the chorus, we always ended up with new words, different words. Remember this, folks? And then at one point, for some reason, he felt that the word T was supposed to be in there. And so he started when there was, you know, there were fighters and there were riders and Irish side fighters. And then we get this part about cake, he says, and tea. And what did we all say in the reverse? Oh, tea. So I think it's only appropriate that tonight Chuck hears those words again. No tea. You know your part, right? I'm going to go hop right into it, okay? And there were fighters and riders and Irish dynamiters. There was beer, gin, whiskey, wine, and cake. There were men of high positions. There were Irish politicians, and they all got drunk at Steve O'Donnell's Wake. And there were fighters and riders and Irish dynamiters. There was beer, gin, whiskey, wine, and cake. There were men of high positions. There were Irish politicians, and they all got drunk at Steve O'Donnell's Wake. Now Steve O'Donnell's gentleman, and everyone can see he was loved by all his friends, both rich and poor. And everyone felt sad when they heard that he was
Irish Fest in 1981. Chuck was 23 years old. And his first job, we had a moonwalk, you know, one of those things that you bounce on, and we had pram races. That was his job the first year. So he was our special events coordinator and went on to become the entertainment coordinator. And of course, did that until last year when he served as president of Irish Fest. So it goes a long way back, and we have people that are out in the audience today that remember those good old days. It's time for the next generation. This band is called Wayworn. Dennis's son, Brendan, and Roy Modlinski, a cousin. And then Colin Ward, who is Chuck's son. They're going to do a song for you, and then we'll have another one from the family members.
How's everyone? Come on! There you go.
Now, I think that Chuck's been here with us today because we've had this beautiful weather, so I know he's looking down on us and wishing us a happy Irish Fest. So we're so glad to be with you here all today. The song I'm going to sing for you, it's called I'll Fly Away, and we thought that was an appropriate tune for Chuck. So we're going to sing this for you in his honor.